All right, what's going on YouTube? Know it's been a while. 2 o'clock in the morning vibes. I'm gonna have to go back and look at this spot. Uh, Pretty impressed with it. Can't even lie, I'm pretty impressed with it. Just go over with the primer or some type of paint, and you can see like every single imperfection. So some really small holes that I will probably come back and just sand the primer off of it and then touch it up with some putty and then sand it down, and then I also might be able to just sand it down, even though it looks like primer would fix it. But happy about that. That was probably one of the worst spots right there. So if that's good, I feel like all my other spots are gonna be good. That was another little small spot right there I had to fix. You can see I got all this here sanded down. Worked on the bumper. I said I was gonna do that before I go in. Let's see what else we got. So we did got rid of the antenna hole. It was a nice gash down through here, and I think that was mostly it. I gotta fix the door. The door is kind of separating on the other side, so I'm gonna come back and do that. And after that, I'm gonna be rolling it out to rinse it off. I got the other side taped up. Still have to do this side here. Just a lot of stuff. Getting rid of this trim. Just come in here and sand all that down, and then started sanding on the other door. Still got to come in here and sand on this door. All around, up under the door. It's a lot. So if you decide to get a car painted and you want the jams and stuff done, which like I said, I'm doing it myself. So I'm trying to save some money there. So I got to sand there in the back piece. I did not take that apart. I took the back header piece, but I did not take the bumper off and actually sand and prime it separately. So in these spots right here in the creases, that's really hard to get to. You can't really get there and sand it down. The paint is flaking off. So take that bumper off, get in all the little nicks and crannies, and then come back and prime it real good, and you'll be ready to go for paint. And some of it came from using too strong of a pressure washer, so that's on me. But I just feel like if I would have took the other bumper off and sanded it down real good, I could have got rid of that. So that's the situation with that. I have probably since last time got the motor out here. So that is the motor that's going to be going in it, and the transmission is still inside. I also have the other transmission that's going to be going in the 6th gen Camaro. I have it pulled out. The motor, I'm going to do a recrank on the motor that's going to be going in the 6th gen. Pairing it up with a 4L60. I think it's like a stage 2 4L60 build. Not sure if I'm going to get I think I'm just going to go ahead and get the EFI set up with the transmission controller rather than just making it manual. I can kind of have that option to make it shift by itself, or I can go in it and hopefully they have a race mode where I can, I guess, change the shift point if I'm racing it, or it might work off of pressure. I'll try to show all that stuff as I'm getting into it and the learning curve that I go through with that. So 2 different Camaros, 01 Camaro and then a 2020 Camaro that's going to be in the mix. Did some more patching, as you see the welder on there. The rear end is up-ish, and I gotta fill this, so I still have my filler cap off, and then this axle I like to fill it up until I can see it coming up to the axle. What else we got going on? Shocks on there. The torque arm is halfway on there. This has started to be sanded down. I got my stickers and stuff taped off on this door. Like I said, I got to do the same thing on the other door. I still have to sand up under all of that. Got to get it washed off and sand up under all that. It is so much stuff to do. A lot of parts, like I said, have come in. Started looking at some gauges. I got to repair a speaker here that came out. Come back in and patch this in a little bit better, and then come back and paint that. Woo, it's a lot. You see my gauge pies there. A lot of stuff over here on the shelf that has to go on. Shift light, fuel hose still needs to get done. It's just a lot, man. You see all my paint stuff. We got some more sanding and priming stuff to do. So a lot of work going down. Still going to be some more wiring I have to do up here. I'm going to have to hook the power up and start slimming down on this fuse box. See what I'm going to need, see what I'm not going to need. Slim that up. I have snipped a lot of it, but still having to do that. Look at the other mods here up front with the radiator once I actually test the motor and see what I'm going to do here. I might go ahead and prime this so it doesn't continue to rust. Wipe it down, prime it, but I'm going to have to come back and do tabs. Is the reason I've been waiting. I got to come back and do tabs and see exactly where my radiator is going to sit, and then where is the trans cooler going to sit, and then also where is the oil cooler. So I'm going to try to do an oil cooler. The turbo gets real hot, it will start coking the oil. It will cause the oil to start to boil. So gonna utilize a oil cooler. On the other car, it works really well. I have 2 trans coolers on it. And it's like it never gets hot, and it like a converter gets really hot, but it actually keeps the converter within decent temperature, like pass after pass. So I like having 2 big trans coolers with a turbo car, especially bumping in. They can be really hard on converters. So 2 trans coolers, an oil cooler, and then a really good size radiator. As you see, debating on my fan setup, whether I do the I think it's called like a spiral. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Looking at doing a brushless fan motor that could move a lot of air and also not pull that many amps, compared to what I usually like to use is a Volvo, a Land Rover, the fans like that with the really I don't have one. I have to show one on the next video. They have really big back, fat back, big back. They got really big metal motors. They move a lot of air though. They move a lot of air. That's what I've been running for years. I think I actually got one on this car. It's a little dark over here, but I'll try to show it. But they work really well, man. They move a lot of air. So anytime you can see the metal, the big metal motor like that, and the super curved fan blades, they work really well. So that's what I've been running, and I had really good luck with those. Don't really go out. They just pull a lot of amps. They're really loud, which I guess anytime you're moving that much air is going to be loud, but they also pull a lot of amps. They tend to really burn up like relays, so you have to kind of keep spare relays on you. So gonna try to, that's the cheap out that works great. Thinking about spending a little bit more money, and I guess in all honesty, just getting the brushless option. Anything electrical is just a better option. It just is. It's more efficient, pulls less amps, and it should last longer. So gonna look into that once I actually figure out how I'm gonna mount this radiator, and then hopefully look at getting one of those brushless motors, and then a shroud that will cover the entire radiator, and then looking at running a trans cooler up front for this car, and getting the 6 GM motor and transmission set in there, looking at that drive shaft setup, drive shaft setup, and then also the same thing with this one here, getting it set in place, motor mock-ups for it, turbo mock-ups, full exhaust with a muffler all the way to the back, turbo setup for this 4th gen Camaro that's in the mix. Also throwing ideas back and forth about my sports loops, whether to leave them black or to paint them. I'm gonna have to see what it looks like, because if I'm gonna paint them, I need to get them painted when I get the car painted. So somebody told me to leave them black. I'm gonna ask a few more people. I'm kind of on the teeter-totter with that, but we shall see. I just don't know how the black's gonna work. It might kind of blend in and look like nothing. I'm gonna look at a couple of the Mustangs and a couple of the BMWs and see if they color match theirs or if they just leave them black. So go do a little research on that. See, I already started taping my top off. Gonna find some newspaper, and like I said, man, get ready to prime this thing down. Once I prime it, I'm gonna come back and sand it. Once I sand it, I'm gonna come back and wet sand it, so I can have it super slick and ready for paint. So hopefully I will get to my bumper and my header panel over there tomorrow. Not hopefully, I'm gonna get it done. I really got to start pushing myself on this here. A couple dates coming up that I'm really excited to hit with this car. So got to really push it on this. Couple other projects around, floating around. I got to show some updates on the Jeep, also on the Tow Pig, and then on the Snowball Camaro. Should be getting parts in. I thought parts were ordered. I called to check on those parts. Parts were not ordered. Gonna be doing some stuff. It's like working on absolutely everything. The Toyota, my little Toyota is down. I showed some stuff on it. I'm gonna be swapping fuel injectors like it's a diesel or something. But been having a skip on it. I done spark plugs, coils, and just doing some research, which I thought it was a fuel issue from the jump. I changed the fuel pump, and they end up having injector problems. You know, after a bunch of miles, I'm coming up on 400,000 miles, so it's like I guess they kind of done their job. But gonna be swapping the injectors and that also. So a lot of content I'm gonna try to shoot and get it posted up for y'all. Stay tuned.